Hello there and welcome back to another Christmassy themed video, and today we're going to be taking a look once again at the city. It feels like it's been so long since I've done anything for the city. I mean, how many dioramas and mechs have I built since my last update? Too many is the answer, but today we're going to build a little Christmassy themed house. I'm not sure if I'm going to try and build a little Santa's grotto, or perhaps I'll try and build a little workshop, or even just build a house that's all dressed up for Christmas. I definitely want to add a bit more than just the building. I want to add a little park, or at least a little area where children can go and build snowmen with all the snow that the ground has collected. So I'm going to work on that, and once I've built it, we can get straight on to seeing what I have done. So I'm going to jump forward to after I've built it and take a look at the build. And here we are now that I've built the model. It took me quite a few hours to build actually, which I wasn't expecting. I know this weren't exactly going to be straightforward, but I just thought with how excited I was to build it, I'd get it over sooner, but the effort was definitely worth it. You can see some of the bigger things that might stand out to you. The giant candy canes that I've built at the front, which just have a clip at the bottom, which I've actually turned into a brick. And I've done that by, as you can see, with the different colours, using this clip plate with two plates below it, and that's just right at the bottom instead of one of the other profile bricks. And I've just clipped a red sort of mech finger to that, a 3-length bar, another red bar holder with the clip, and then I've got a bar holder with the bar clip at the back there in white, and then I've just got a hot dog, give it a nice little curved edge, and they do look really cool. They are absolutely massive. Compared to a minifigure, they're definitely about probably 1.5 meters tall, perhaps even more, but that's just the start of it. We also have these nice lights curving up this pole and going all the way along the front here. Very Christmassy. We've got some sparkly purple windows and a little profile brick just to stand out and match with the door. We've also got a nice door rug on the outside and a few wooden beams showing on the porch. So I'm very happy with how this turned out, and I went with a flat roof because initially I was going to add a second floor and thought I'd rather have a flat roof so I can get a nice sled, reindeer and Mrs. Claus just at the back there on the top. If we had an angled roof, it'd make it a lot harder. Perhaps I could have had a flat portion on top, but to get them and the chimney just at the back there, it was so much easier to use a flat roof. And I'd had so many of these 2x2 tiles, not only from my recent pab box, but also from, I think it was even the time before that, I picked up so many of them, so I had plenty to do what I wanted with them. And this is actually going to be displayed this way in my city. So as you can see, most of all the minifigures are sort of angled so that they can be seen at this angle. And you can see a few of the newer ones. We've got the nice blue dress from the pab wall, or the builder minifigure stations even. And also this winter dude here who's all jacketed up and got his shovel trying to clear the snow, perhaps off the path here in the park. This is an old CMF that just looks so winterfied. He did come with a husky, but I've just added in, perhaps he's looking for his dog out here in the park. And this guy on the bench is sat using two of these superhero sort of pose pieces that angle them off slightly. So the bench is made completely out of these bar elements and it actually uses a droid arm to hold up the top. And these just slot between the two at the bottom and mean that he can sit on there very nicely. I mean, he can still slide across a little bit, but as long as you're not flipping this upside down, which it's not, it's the ground, so this is going to stay very much level. He will stay on the plate. So right behind him, we do have a snowman. Perhaps that's worth taking a bit of a closer look, as I haven't used the easiest of techniques to build him. You can see he's on a plate which makes him stand up above the tiles, and I've actually used the snot bricks with the 4 snot bricks on the front and 2 on either side of the 2x1 and 1 2/3 tall bricks. The same bricks that I'm using very much for all different mocks now, and each layer uses just 2 of them bricks. Perhaps I can show you just there. You can see I've got the 2 snot bricks holding on all the sides of the snowman's head, and on top of that I've given him a nice little top hat. Perhaps you could even add a little scarf on or around the neck. But as you can see, it's a lot bigger than the other snowmen I've made. Perhaps the people working on this just had a bit more time than on the corner of the street. And obviously, being in a park, much more snow, and I've in fact actually lowered the snow around the snowman because of course the snowman will be using up some of that snow, so you can see the lake and even the path sits just above, but there's only the one tile around the snowman just because the snow's been used. It's a nice little detail that I wanted to include. We've also got a figure skating, perhaps practicing, warming up for a competition on the ice here in the park. A nice little lake that perhaps that's why the bench is here. You can feed the ducks over the summer, but right now it's frozen over, which is perfect for the ice skater to just glide across, skating on the frozen lake. And once again, I've used another superhero. Actually, I've used two more here just to pose the ice skater on the ice, make it look like he is icing, and means that they're nice and solid, clipped down onto the plate, so they're not going anywhere. Now, you've seen the front of the house, and you can see on the side a few more windows here, which very nice pieces. They are only 1x1s, but it'd be lovely to get some bigger window pieces. But to be honest, you could do what I've just done here and put 8 of them together for a window. I think they look so nice. It looks like some fake snow's been sprayed on. Perhaps you can even add a little bit of detail by putting a white brick in there to represent perhaps a snowman or another ice sculpture. And now that the bench guy has rolled off, I have to be careful how much I lift this. In fact, this whole roof does pop off quite nicely to reveal the inside of the house. So we will take another look at the roof. We haven't given too much interest in the sleigh and such, but right now the focus is on the house. You can see we've got a nice big long bench here. Perhaps it's a family of what? Family of 4. That couch will sit. That'd be very nice, but also probably very expensive. Nice little colour scheme. You can see there's only one stud width for the couch. I did try it with 2. I just didn't want it to stand out as much, and I think this looks quite nice. I was going to actually do 2 armchairs with a table in between, but full. It's a family home. We've got to have enough seats for the family, so ended up putting this bench here right in front of the windows, and you can actually see the 2 plants that I've got here. They're not currently blooming. It is the middle of winter, so they are looking a bit dead and dreary. We've also got a lamp which actually supports this brick here, and also a little pot or ornament of some kind. And right at the front of the house, the 2 windows here are actually a bit smaller than the ones on the right because they're right on the corner. Even though they look the same from the outside, they're a bit smaller inside, so that is some nice trickery in there. And right in front of the left one, you can see we have right behind Santa Claus the Christmas tree, but there are currently no presents underneath, and that is what Santa is here to do. He's currently out delivering the presents. You can see he's got a teddy from his sack and he's ready to put it under the tree. But before he does, he's heading over back to the fireplace where he came from. See, there's a cookie, there's a glass of milk, and they are both underneath this cool looking wreath, which is just put together by the 4 leaf elements and 2 cherries to make up the berries. In fact, in this fireplace here, you can't really see it, but there is a fire element, so the fire is currently lit, and it just makes you wonder how Santa Claus is getting down the chimney unburnt in the first place. I mean, the chimney is small enough, so how he fits down, we'll never know. But I guess that is just the trick of the trade. Again, we've got a doormat on the inside so you can wipe your feet. And the door does actually open inside, which means I didn't have to account for that on the outside. Most doors over here in the UK do open inwards, and it's just a safety feature so you can't pry the doors open. So I definitely wanted to replicate that in this model, as I think the Lego store was the opposite. The doors opened outwards. And if you did notice when I was speaking about Santa's bag, he is actually using the bag from a wolf suit minifigure CMF that we got. I don't know how long ago it was, but it was nearly at least a year ago, if not 2. And it's just got that patchwork, which is really nice because obviously Santa has to be reusing the same bag. He can't just be throwing it away year after year. So perhaps it's been patched up by him or Mrs. Claus or even one of the elves. But I'll leave Santa delivering that present, and we'll take another look at the roof, because here we have Mrs. Claus using a candy cane to help her walk. Perhaps her and Santa are getting a bit older and just need that help getting from house to house. But she has joined Saint Nick on his adventure, and you can see the reindeer pulling the sleigh is another minifigure. There is definitely some magic involved, and a little sleigh so that Santa Claus or Mrs. Claus can fit at the front. Perhaps I should have accounted for the both of them. And the sack does actually fit just in the back here. So it's a really nice sleek sleigh design. It's nice and little compared to some of the sleighs that Lego have been making, which really would take up the whole space on this roof. And you can see just how small the chimney is. I mean, the hole on top is even smaller. So it's a nice design, and this roof does go back on top and goes all the way out the front, covering the porch, which we saw at the start. And just like how the lights are on there, it is actually the same design as the Lego Star Wars Holiday Diorama mock that I made. And I just really like the colours that they use. So I've repeated the pattern on here, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, the video is up. I'll leave it linked at the end, and you can check that out because this is actually the second Christmas mock I've made this year. I know a few weeks ago you might recall me saying I'm not sure if I'll make any this year, and suddenly within the first week of December I have two. So you can definitely be expecting some more. Now I'm in the groove. Later on this month, I definitely want to take a crack at building some more Lego decorations. The short I posted went down so well, and with the Lego baubles coming out for the gift with purchase, it'd just be a chance for me to show you how to make Lego Christmas decorations for much, much cheaper. But this is my festive Lego Christmas scene, and this isn't the last of the city. I still want to finish the rooftop farm, and I've also got the Big Bang flat to make. I definitely want to add a giant Christmas tree into my Lego City town, and perhaps even come back and make a little horse and carriage for the road, as there's definitely space for it. But only time will tell. Thank you so much for the support, especially on these city videos. They seem to be so popular over time. So I hope you like this video. If you do, please do leave a like. It helps me see how many of you enjoy this content and just encourages me to post more. Obviously, before we go, we will take a look at this in the Lego City, but if you do find yourself coming back, be sure to subscribe. And now let's head over to the city. So hopefully you can still hear me. I have tried to place the mic in a different location, as normally it's right here where my Lego Christmas scene has been placed. But as you can see, it fits in quite nicely in front of that sitcom tower, even with the flat roof. And the park just expands the city a bit, so perhaps I will make this park a more permanent fixture at some point in the future. But for now, it's got all the Christmas characters there, and even got the gingerbread on the pavement here. There are a few other Christmas characters spotted around that you might be able to see, such as the elf and even two nutcrackers guarding the Lego Sea Life. And I definitely will return this year, add a bit more festivity to this city, so do subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss out. And as always, may the bricks be with you.